Hi, we're at Town Crier Bakery in Peddler's Village. They're going to show us their yummy secrets to making delicious cinnamon buns. So let's go inside and meet Kerry and Roseann. With Kerry, who is the baker, and he's going to show us how to make sticky buns, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so what are we doing?
Okay, so sticky buns are a staple in Philadelphia. It's something that everybody expects to see in the bakery, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to take a 6-pound piece of dough, I'm going to make it into a sticky bun, and then through the magic of time elapsed, I'm going to show you what it looks like coming out of the oven. So they already put one in the oven, so you'll get to see it from start to finish. So what I'm going to show you now is how we do sticky buns.
Perfect. You can smell it here, it's amazing.
Okay, so I'm sitting here with a 6.5 pound piece of dough. This is called sweet dough. This is what we use to make sticky buns, crumb buns, butter cakes, and a lot of the staples in scratch baking. So I'm going to run this through a machine called a sheeter, which helps me roll to the size I need, and then we're going to put it on the bench, and then we'll go ahead from there.
So, is it a sheeter?
This is called a dough sheeter.
Okay.
And it has rolling pins on the inside. So I flatten that a little bit, and I turn my settings to the rolling pins to a certain thickness. And roll through once, a little flour, take it down a little bit smaller, just to give me the length I'm looking for.
If you do it too fast, will it break? You don't do it in 2 steps?
You got to work it down. If
you
try to go too thin, you will actually tear the dough a little bit. So there's a bunch of different kinds of sheeters, but for what we use for this kind of dough, this works really nice. So I'll lay the sweet dough out on a flour bench. I'll flour the top lightly, and I'm going to use this thing. It's called a dough docker. And actually, this knocks the air out of the dough, so when I roll it, I don't have pockets and bubbles of gas bubbles from the yeast. Once I do that, I'm going to take my rolling pin, and I'm just going to roll it. I'm going to get my lane first. I'll go, both sides of it.
About how long do you want to get it?
Well, for a 6.5 pound piece of dough, I need 60 pieces, which is 5 dozen. I want to get this thing almost, 3/4 of the bench, so leaving a little bit off each side, just about in my lane there. So I'm going to roll one more. And that length will get me, and I'm going to go for a little bit of width. And I don't need it too wide, but I'm working from the center up and the center down. I'm not going over the edges, because I don't want to flatten the edges.
And what's the reason for that?
Because you want to have it uniform throughout. If you go over the edges, then you make it flat, and then you're getting different thicknesses of dough.
Okay.
So
when you twist it, you want the, gotcha.
Exactly right. Okay. So we're almost there. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my bench brush, I'm going to brush off the excess flour. I'm going to make sure I get that teen over there.
It's alright.
Okay. The reason I brush this off, because the next step is I'm going to wash it with butter wash. And I want to make sure that the flour won't keep the butter from adhering to the dough. It looks like I'm just painting the side of a house. But I just melt butter in a little saucepan there and slather it on, which I think is a perfect word. Sticky buns are better with butter. So I'll coat the entire thing with butter. Pay particular attention to the edges, because that's where I have to seal it. Make sure I have it covered.
Give it an extra stick, kind of?
Yeah, so when I roll it up, that's where I'm going to seam it, and that'll help it stick. Then I'm going to dig into this can here, and I use a mix here that is, I use brown sugar.
Gotta get in there.
Brown sugar, nutmeg, and cinnamon. I mix that together. I'll put that on the sticky bun. And if there's any little lumps, I'll just break that up as I'm laying it across.
That looks amazing already.
I'm leaving a little edge on the bottom without any sugar, so it'll help it stick.
So you said cinnamon, nutmeg, and sugar?
Correct. It's a 50-pound bag of brown sugar. There's 25 pounds of granulated sugar, 2 pounds of cinnamon, and about a pound of nutmeg.
How much do you go through?
I'll go through that in about a week and a half between cinnamon buns and some of the other breads and cakes I make that I use it in. I use it in my raisin bread, Jewish apple cake, and a couple other pastries. All right, so now that I've got it done, I've got it rolled to the length I want. I have it washed in butter. I have the sugar mix on, and leave my edges clean. I'm going to start to roll it. I'm going to start from the right side. I'm just going to start rolling it towards me. Then I'll go back.
So I thought it was going to go this way. I'm surprised it's coming.
So now so you can see where I'm going to seal it. Gotta make sure it's clean. There's no sugar.
Yeah. If you get this side, you can see it's completely sealed from just that one movement.
This is one of the first things I do in the morning when I come in. I'll light my ovens, I'll light my proof box, check my orders, and I'll pull my dough out. I'll put my Danish, my croissants in the proof box, and then I'll go ahead and roll this up. Because it takes a little bit of time once you roll it for it to proof, to grow to the right size in the proof box. I'll snip the end off, and then I need to get at least 60 pieces out of here. Because I'm going to put them in the pan. So
you just know the length, but at this
point.
point.
There's my average size. And then I just start counting.
Okay. Perfectly 60?
60.
Wow.
And then we'll go ahead.
Good stuff.
This is a pan that I use. It has holds 60. There is schmear in it, which is brown sugar, butter, margarine, honey, molasses, corn syrup mixed together, and that's the sticky stuff. So we smear that in the pan, and then we put raisins and nuts and whatever else we may need.
What kind of nuts are in there? Walnuts?
They're walnuts, yes. Depending on sometimes the price per pound, we may go with pecans or whatever. Seems to be more cost effective, but walnuts are a bit stable.
So what time do you have to come in the morning to start baking?
Normally during the week, since we don't open up until 9, I'm usually here by 6.
Okay.
On weekends we open at 7, I'm here by 4, 4:30.
Wow, okay.
Depending on how much stuff I have to do with what kind of day I have. So I'll lay my first row in, I'll go 10, and then I'm going to go 6 this way.
How many of those do you go through a week?
Usually 1 a day, which is 5 dozen a day. On the weekends, we can do anywhere from 3 to 4 on the weekends. So.
And do you have any idea what the calories are in one sticky bun?
It's absolutely fat-free.
Nuts are very healthy for you.
That's right.
So when that bakes up, all of that molasses is going to stick on top of?
Yeah, the sugar will break down, it'll melt down, it'll caramelize. And then when we're done baking it, we'll just turn it over and invert it right on top of the pan, so it'll be good to go.
Now, if that's not a pan of deliciousness, I don't know what is.
So then I just flatten it down, and then we're good to go. Then I would take and put it over here, which is a proof box, which is really just your steam. You have water, you put it on a hot plate, it just creates steam.
Okay.
Until it grows to where it comes to the top of the pan.
Oh, I never knew that. How long is it in there usually?
It's usually in here about a half hour, 40 minutes.
Important home step you would never know.
It's grown. Here's where it's at right now.
Oh, wow.
I have one in there that I made a little bit earlier. Okay, I'm going to go right here.
Oh man, wow.
I wish there was a scent feature.
I know. Someday on the internet you'll be able to
So that doesn't
smell.
look like much now.
Flip it over. All the good stuff. The gooiness. Wow. Wow. Let's get a zoom in on that.
And then you kind of spread them, or do you do just raisins for some?
We do some plain, but I'm going to sit there and scrape the pan. Make sure all the extra gooiness comes out.
All that deliciousness. I mean,
And
if
all
people could smell
fat-free.
this. Yeah. Guilt-free.
Guilt-free, I like that. And then take it out to the store, and there we go.
There you have it. Delicious.